Good morning, guys. Welcome to That Health Club. We are going to do some yoga activity with you today. This is one of my students, Sam. Say hi, Sam. Sam has been doing yoga with me now at the studio for about 13 weeks, hey? Yeah. So today I've asked Sam if she would demonstrate some sun salutation moves for you. Sun salutation is fantastic for building up our metabolism first thing in the morning. It's a lovely way to get out of bed and warm the muscles. It also works a lot of the body. It gets our breathing really nice and rhythmic. And yeah, it's a good way to start the day. It only takes about 5 or 10 minutes. You can make it last longer. There's lots of different variations of sun salutation. However, the general asana postures are primarily the same. It's the sequence that often changes. So we're going to do the sequence that we teach in our group class whenever you come to one of my group sessions, and we'll get into that in just a few minutes. But I want to tell you a little bit about Sam's journey. Sam has had huge success with yoga in the 12, 13 weeks that she's been coming. We measured Sam's body weight, arms, waist, hips, butt, thighs, neck, the whole deal, 6 weeks ago. And even though she has been doing yoga for 13 weeks, Sam was part of a council program that allowed her to access on an extra yoga class. Now, Sam had been coming to 3 yoga sessions a week, 2 weight loss sessions, and 1 strength and tone. And her results have been phenomenal. Were you doing any other activity other than yoga before the program started?
Just a little bit at the pool.
Yep.
Walking in the pool and a few laps here and there.
Okay.
But that was about it.
Okay. So Sam's also a swimming instructor, so she spends a bit of time in the water with children, teaching them to swim. But yeah, the moral to Sam's story is that in 6 short weeks of 4 yoga classes a week, one of them being a very gentle beginner's class that just allows her to have an all-over body stretch, 2 classes which are still at a beginner's sort of intermediate level now, that are designed for weight loss, and 1 specific strength and tone class. She has lost 12 inches in total off her body, which is very exciting. But I'd like Sam to tell you a little bit about herself as well, so you can get a feel, because you're going to see her in a few of the different videos. We're going to break things down for you into 5-minute sessions, 10-minute sessions of different sequences, working on different body muscles. So let's get to know you, Sam. Tell us why yoga.
I like yoga. Being an ex-sports person, I like the stretch.
Yep.
So my body likes to feel the stretch and be able to be flexible and have that movement. I injured my back about 4 years ago, so I put on a lot of weight and wasn't getting the core muscles working again. So yoga helps with that because it's helping protect my back by building the muscles up.
That's great, yeah. And yoga's really, really good for that kind of thing. If you've had any kind of back injury, you're going to see Sam do some modified versions today so that we are supporting her in this process of rebuilding the strength in her back. And I believe you've also had a knee injury at some point.
Yeah. As an ex-sports person, I've got a bit of fluid in my knee.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I've got weak ankles as well.
Yeah. And as
so
we're getting older, the aches and pains kick in, so it's a maintenance process.
Yeah, definitely.
So when we show you these yoga sequences, we're bearing that in mind. I wanted you to see someone who's a real person, who's got real life issues that she lives with every day. You know, lower back going on, some fluid in the knees. Ankle strength is something she'd like to work on. Weight loss is her focus. Like many of us have these kinds of goals. And it is a maintenance thing. We want to be looking after ourselves long term, not just going to the gym for 6 weeks and going, and building up a little bit of muscle and then flaking out and changing our mind and getting too busy to bother. So how have you found your yoga sessions, like as far as you've been committing 1 hour a day, sort of 4 days a week now? Do you notice when you don't go and do yoga?
Yeah, I do notice. So when you've been away, I notice. I try and do a little bit in the backyard, but obviously committing to a time that's not a class is a little bit harder because you always put it off and put it off and put it off.
And so do you feel then that if you're watching something like this, even if you wanted to do it in the yard, you've got someone talking to you so to sort of guide you through the moves that you then have come to know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because then I'm going to watch it. I'm going to go, yep, this is my class. Because I can't go to an actual group session, and I'd actually commit to it and do it.
That's great. That's great. And that's the reason that we're doing this for you guys. So we're going to get into it now. So if you come to the front of your mat for me, please, Sam. And I want you to, so in sun salutation, the Sanskrit word for it is Surya Namaskara. There are lots of Sanskrit words in yoga because ultimately it's the language used to describe the sutras of Patanjali and a lot of the asanas. I am not very good at pronouncing a lot of them, so I'm going to stick with the English version. If I can pronounce the Sanskrit word, I will do that for you because absolutely I love the history of yoga and I think it's something that's important for us to recognise and impart where we can along the way. However, sun salutation works for me. For those of you who are new to yoga, I want you to understand it's not called sun salutation because we're worshipping the sun or saluting the sun. It is because it generates heat in the body just like standing in the sun would. So that's primarily the reason why it's been called that. And in that heat being generated, we're going to build up our metabolism. We're going to get some blood pumping through the heart, through the body, through the muscles. And it's generally it's done in the mornings, mid-afternoon sometimes, depending on when I'm running classes. But yeah, it's a great way to keep the metabolism going at a nice high rate for the rest of the day. So it's a good way to start the day, guys. So we're going to do 3 rounds of sun salutation today, Sam. So when you're ready, I just want you to close your eyes. I want you to stand in Tadasana for me. So Tadasana is feet hip width apart. And she's just going to close her eyes and diaphragmatically breathe. So diaphragmatic breathing is where we allow our belly to expand on the inhale and then contract back down on the exhale. Notice that Sam's got her shoulders squared out here, her arms are nice and relaxed by her sides. And then on your next inhale, I just want you to bring your arms up above your head. And exhale, we want to come down into forward fold. So this is what we call forward fold. And then we're going to inhale, bring the hands to the knees to a half fold. Notice how lovely and straight her back is here. She's pushing her chest out. And we're going to exhale, bring the hands down and step back to high plank. Now there are times where you can jump back, but ultimately Sam's got back issues, so we want to just step back for her there. She's going to inhale and exhale all the way down. Notice that she's lowering her body as evenly as she can, untucking the toes. She's going to inhale and push into up facing dog, tilting the chin up, and exhale, tuck the toes into downward dog. Now she's going to hold here for 5 breaths. It's totally okay to adjust yourselves and, so that you're comfortable, because your mats can get a little bit slippery. I want you to look here at this beautiful V shape that Sam has happening with her body. She's got nice push through the hands here so that the chest comes right back. And then after she's done her 5th breath, she's going to step her left leg forward. Now to support her back, Sam's just going to drop the right knee and inhale and bring the arms up. And exhale, she's going to bring her hands down and step to forward fold again. She's going to inhale, bring the hands to half fold, chest out, nice straight back, and exhale, placing the hands down, stepping back to high plank. Inhale and exhale, lowering the body down, untucking the toes. Inhale, pushing up, tilting the chin right back, tuck the toes, and exhale to downward dog. Just going to hold here for 5 more breaths. So sometimes we'll see people with their heads, I'll just get you to demonstrate an incorrect downward dog for me, Sam, come forward. So when we start, sometimes it's really hard for the legs to be straight and the heels to be down, and we come forward like this. I'd rather see bent legs, if you could bend them for me, Sam, and then pushing back correctly. I would rather see this beautiful line here on the spine and the bent knees, and then work towards the straight legs. Okay, fantastic. Now she's going to step forward with the right leg on the inhale. Bringing the arms up. And exhale, stand into forward fold. And inhale, hands to the knees, chest out. And exhale, hands down and back to high plank. Inhale and exhale, lowering the body down. So that's a full round, one full round. Inhale, we're going to push up. Exhale to downward dog. Remembering we're working towards straight knees. Sam's been doing this a while now and she's had some yoga experience in the past. The body's great at remembering, you know, we have muscle memory. So you'd be surprised how quickly you will gain your flexibility back. And when she comes to her 5th breath, she's going to step her left leg forward again. And bringing the arms up. So she's dropping the knee to support her back. And exhale, hands down. And inhale, half fold. Perfect, straight back here. And exhale, hands down and stepping back to high plank. Nice low plank here. She's working with her back, so her bum needs to be a little bit higher. And inhale and exhale, lowering the body down. And inhale, pushing up. And exhale to downward dog. And we're going to hold for 5 more breaths. So sometimes our plank isn't as low as we'd like it to look, or you look at the instructor and you go, oh man, I can't do that. Just honour your bodies, guys. There's a principle of yoga called ahimsa, and it means kindness and compassion. We want to be kind to ourselves. Work with where we're at. On her 5th breath, she's going to step the right leg forward again. And bringing the arms up. And exhaling and stepping to forward fold. And inhale, hands to half fold. See how she pushes the chest out to get that nice flat back. And exhale, putting the hands down and stepping to high plank. Inhale and exhale, lowering the body down. And inhale, pushing up. And exhale to downward dog. So she's done 2 rounds now. So we have 1 more round of left and right leg lunges. And on her 5th breath, she will step forward with the left leg again. And exhale to forward fold. And inhale to half fold. And exhale, step back. Inhale and exhale, lowering the body down. Inhale, push up. Exhale to downward dog. Holding for 5. So you'll notice that your body will start to feel quite warm now. And this is a good thing. The muscles are getting stretched, the hamstrings getting stretched. And step forward on your 5th breath. And exhale to forward fold. And then from here, we're going to stand all the way up for the inhale. And exhale into heart center. Thank you very much, Sam. So that's what we call a sun salutation, guys. Now you can, as you get stronger, you can start out with 1 round. Some people need to start in that place, and I want you to be okay with that. And you know, if you need more than 1 breath in, 1 breath out for each posture, because ultimately I was talking a little, but normally when we do this in class, the guys are so familiar with it now, they'll inhale, bring the arms up, they'll exhale, forward fold, they'll inhale with the chest, exhale, hands down. So it's meant to be a posture per breath, but take your time in getting there. If you need to take a couple of breaths or you're breathing quite shallow to begin with, that's okay. It's a starting point, all right? So just be patient with yourself because it will progress and you will get better at it as you go. Namaste, Sam.
Namaste.
Thank you very much. All right, see you in the next video, guys.